Hi all. I am at a loss for the next steps and I'd love some outside opinions, advice, or anyone who can relate. I closed on my first place at the end of 2022, which is supposed to be a rewarding and awesome milestone. It is a condo in a building with 8 units. However, my downstairs neighbor is making my life a living hell and my sanity is dwindling. It all started when I first moved in. Any amount of noise I made sent her into a complete rage. She'd bang on the walls or ceilings with an object, I'd assume a broom. When and if I tried to speak with her or retaliate by banging back, she'd bang on the ceiling to wake me up in the middle of the night. I live alone with my cat and generally don't make much noise. However, some noise is expected. She's insanely noisy, which is the ironic part. Next, she began blaring her TV and boombox at all hours of the day and night. I can hear it from anywhere in my unit. It can also be heard from outside of the building. I work from home and this became very irritating very quickly. Whenever I would attempt to knock on her door to resolve our issues politely, she'd either ignore me or cuss me out. She isn't quite right, and this is apparent in her behavior and reactions. At one point, I did a welfare check with the police because I thought something might have happened to her since the music was blaring for over 12 hours straight, and I thought maybe she had fallen or worse. When the cop arrived, she gaslighted him and me into oblivion. To add on, this lady feeds the squirrels daily and throws food on the ground around my car. It attracts an insane amount of squirrels. Since I know that squirrels can cause damage to homes and vehicles and the food was attracting ants in my car, I decided it would be okay to bring this to the HOA to at least breach some problems I was having with my neighbor. Unfortunately, HOA let me know that it was deemed as hearsay, and without video proof there wasn't much they could do. It's proven difficult to get the neighbor on video feeding the squirrels. I also asked AOA what to do about the never-ending music coming from their unit. They told me to begin filing noise complaints with the county or call the police. This goes on for months. I reported or attempted to speak with her nicely and she cussed me out or ignored me, all whilst the music is never turned down. I can hear it as I type this. I've left notes. I've made several complaints with the county. I've called the police. I've reached out to the HOA. I even found out she wasn't the actual owner, and so I contacted the owner to mediate the situation, but this has only further pissed her off. I am living in a nightmare of shitty music and bass and a deranged neighbor. All of this barely scrapes the surface situations and encounters with this woman. I am going insane. I feel I have exhausted my current avenues and I'd love to know if anyone has advice or has dealt with a similar terrible neighbor. My downstairs neighbors have lived under me for 2 years, and I have been there for 4. Life was bliss before they came in. We live in a 4-plex with another 4-plex next door, and nobody can stand them, though I have it the worst. They are a young, I say 24 years old tops toxic couple. I have to hear them fight, have sex loudly, and just be completely inconsiderate neighbors daily. The girl is so disgusting and constantly hawks loogies. I'm talking like 20 times a day I hear her hawking. She and her boyfriend are both lazy assholes. They leave trash and mail out. Left their pumpkins out well into November, despite them molding and attracting flies. They never break down their boxes. Their cats are uncared for and constantly get out. We used to share the garage and she got my electric bike stolen or stole it herself because she's a moron and left it open all the time. I confronted her on it. She said she didn't know what happened. They couldn't afford garage rent anymore and gave it up. They don't have jobs, so they are home all the time. I work so I don't have to deal with them while I'm at the office, but WFH sucks when I get the opportunity to. He plays video games all day on full blast. Her mom pays her rent. My landlord, I guess, knew the girl's aunt and let her move in as a favor. The boyfriend technically isn't even allowed to live there because the LOL doesn't approve of him. Every time the mom comes over, he's gone for hours. You probably wonder how I know all this. Well, everything I know is against my will because I can hear them yelling. My landlord knows how much we all can't stand them and how problematic they are. I have a great relationship with my other neighbors. We take in each other's packages and have a group chat. The toxic couple left the group chat after I asked them to please turn off their alarms that would go on for hours. They called me rude and left. I don't know how asking somebody to turn off their alarm is rude, but these people are pieces of shit. So talking to them really isn't an option. They are just very immature and should probably still live with mommy and daddy because they can't afford it and make their other neighbors miserable. I wish I could make their lives miserable like they do mine, but don't want to impact anybody else around me. I'm going on 2 years of lack of sleep and just in general being annoyed constantly. The Lugis literally send me into a pit of rage every time I hear her. It's the most disgusting, anger-inducing sound. We also live in California, so it's extremely hard to get rid of a tenant, even if we were all able to convince the landlord to. There are many other issues about them I haven't even brought up, but they are a nightmare. Moving is not an option for me, and I shouldn't have to give up my home I love because of shitheads like them. I just don't know what to do at this point. It's not like a note or telling my landlord helps. Wish I could drive them to the point of them wanting to move out.